Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. Sean Higgs coming at you on Friday, May 2nd. Wow, it's almost June. I'm only kidding, folks. It's early May. Welcome on into the show here. Major League Baseball free picks on deck today with Chip Chirimbes. We got Arizona and Philly, Mets and St. Louis. We'll get to those in about a minute. But before we get to those nice winners for you, hit the like button. You've come in, you see me and Chip, you're like, I like these guys. I'm going to hit the thumbs up button. Or maybe you're like, look at these two wackos. Thumbs down. They don't know what the hell they're doing. I'm not listening to them. Either way, engage. We're here. Comments are open. Leave a comment. Who do you like in these games today? Maybe you want to do NBA. We did NBA all week. There's one game today. We're not doing the NBA. Put your comment in there. You want NBA? You want the NBA? I got an idea for you. Head over to gamblersworld.net, our sponsor. Right now, we got our $50 Mayday sale up. That's $50 off any 30-day or more package. Listen, for right now, it's Major League Baseball season package unless you want to get ready for NFL and college football and jump on a season pass. But 30-day package, $50 off, go get it, because with the 30-day package, you know this, we show you a profit over that time, or we credit you back. It's free. Same with the 3 and 7-day packages, but that is you don't get 50 off for that one. Only the 30-day pass. Go get it. NBA playoffs. We're getting ready for the second round, but here you go. $229 at Gamblers World. I don't know. I'm going to say it. You could write into the boss. This would be considered more than a 30-day pass. I don't know. Maybe you'd sweet talk the guy. I don't know. He pulled it down fast. Maybe not. I don't know. But if you want it, I'll make a call. You can get it for $50 off. You want your NBA? Chip Trim is pretty good at NBA, Mr. Hoops. Chip Trim is, speaking of Gamblers World, what do you got going on today, or maybe even just for the weekend, and looking forward to Gamblers World tonight with your premium action?
All right, had a nice NBA winner last night with Detroit. We're starting to really come along in the playoffs. And Major League Baseball did stub our toe, but overall we're winning. We got a pretty good little run here in Major League Baseball. I have one game in each sport today, Sean. One in baseball and one in basketball. And I really like both of them, to tell you the truth. But, it's a long season. We're going here with baseball and just getting warmed up, really. Looking forward to it. There's been so many anomalies out there already. Teams scoring a huge amount of runs and other teams not being able to get on base, more or less. And it's a long season for baseball. The Dodgers have the best record in baseball right now, half a game over the New York Mets, who have got beat, I think, the last couple of games. But it's surprising what New York has been doing, and the Yankees as well, without a pitching staff. So, Sean, baseball is one of my favorites because it's such a long season, and teams get off to great records. I mean, here's Atlanta starts 0-7, and bang, they're back in the thick of it already. So it's my favorite, really.
Listen, I love baseball. It's so long, and again, for me at least, I like to attack dogs. I like a lot of action, so it's always you're always right there for big days and streaks. If you're a streak guy, people are like, oh, well, trends in this end. This is a great sport because teams win 3, 4, 5 in a row. They lose 4, 5, 6 in a row. And it is commonplace over 162 games. You talked about the Braves started out terrible.
Sean, they had a streak prop out there with the Yankees win over 7.5 games at any time in the season, win 8 straight. And I said with their pitching staff, I didn't think they would be able to get there, but 7.5 was their number. They won 5 in a row early, and I don't think they're going to come close to winning 8 straight games at all for the rest of the season.
It'll take a lot. Listen, I like Fried. I mean, he's going to take. He's a good pitcher. I like Rodon. I think is solid. But after that, you got question marks. You don't know how it's going to be.
And Rodon hasn't had a season now in 4 or 5 years, so he's pitching excellent for the Yankees right now, and they're really keeping a close eye on him as it is. How about this, Sean? Baseball. We have a guy that hit 4 home runs in one game, and he's like a 202 hitter. What's going on here? I mean, I said, who is this guy? And I went and
Suarez?
Yeah. I mean, and the other guy that's going to hit 190 and probably 50 home runs is my boy Mickey Trout, if he ever does get healthy.
He's out. He's not playing.
It's not a sin. I mean, what a career that's just been halted. And he's a Hall of Famer anyway, I think, Sean.
I want to say, I want how his career's kind of going now. It's almost like Griffey-esque. Guy gets hurt, and then kind of like tail end of the career, what could have been kind of.
Right.
I mean, again,
Right.
the guy's MVP, multiple, excellent. But I hate when guys we've talked about this before, whether basketball players, guys get hurt, they're not the same. You're like, ugh, especially a guy like him. But this is going on, 5, 6, 7 years now?
I think he's just concentrating on the long ball right now because he's got such a beautiful short swing, condensed, powerful, no bad movement whatsoever. There's no hitches. It's very smooth. And, I thought he had decided that personally that he was just going to stroke for the long ball and didn't care about anything else. And then he gets hurt because he had hit quite a few home runs already. But
the crazy thing is that he was a 3-time MVP.
Yeah.
From the time he was 20 to 27. 2019 his last. Even in 2019, look at these 139 games basically his rookie year at 20. All right, rookie of the year. 157, 159, 159. 114 games at 25. 140 at 26. 134. He won the MVP that year. Yeah. 45 homers, by the way, in 134 games. COVID 2020. 2021 hurt, 36 games, 119 games at 30 years old, 82, 29, 20, 33. I mean, he really had 7 years of good baseball, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 years. 8 full years. I mean, if you want to throw the 40 home run year, 119 at 30 years, terrible. I mean, 5 years of his life.
Yeah. And they got 5 more years to go after this season with him under contract, so.
If he was just hitting, again, in 20s light because he hit 45 and 40 at these ages, I mean, say if he had just 30 in these 3 seasons he missed. I mean, 30s, let's say 100 more homers. That's 487 homers right now he should have.
Yeah, well.
He should be closing in on 500 home runs.
During their career to home runs than Ted Williams. I mean, he was called away for 5 years or part of 5 years.
Yeah. But I'm just saying from his standpoint, 3 years for injuries, and he had injuries before that too as well. He should have 500 home runs right now at 32, which is pretty darn good.
Sean, what's it say for his career batting average now? Does you have
297?
That? Yeah, there it is. He's below 300 now.
Well, he's hitting 180 this year.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, Mano and some of those greats didn't fall below 300 until the very, very end. This guy still has 5 years left. I don't know if he'll be able to make up the difference. I don't think so. I mean, his trends are horrible right now.
It's just can't stay healthy. Terrible. Speaking of terrible, we got Philadelphia. As Yankee guys, we just have to hate on Philly. So you'll be doing Arizona and the Philadelphia. I'm going to say Phillies, but or I'm going to say the Eagles, but they're the Phillies. Merrill Kelly. Luzardo, I like Luzardo. I actually had a Cy Young on Luzardo a couple years ago. I'm like, and the A's had good pitchers. Hey, Montes had some nice young guys. AJ Puck, they were not meant to be. But so far, Luzardo, pretty darn good for Philly here. Yep. Pretty good out of the gate. They are 145 favorites here against an Arizona team who I like Arizona. I thought the Burns signing was good, although he has not been good. Gallen's been so-so. Kelly, I thought this is a good top 3. Rodriguez at these 4. Both teams 17 and 14, so they look okay, but this is baseball. This is what you kind of get a little bit early here. I don't know if I can lay to 145 of Philly here. Could you look at just the base number of Luzardo's ERA, let's run to this. I don't know. I lean a little dog here. Your game, though, with Luzardo and Kelly. And I'm a big Luzardo guy. It's tough for me to go. I want maybe a run line. I don't know. I didn't play this game at all, dude. Okay. So I hope you got a free pick for us that I feel good about.
I feel really, fairly good about it. Philadelphia got off to this horrible start to the season, or not horrible, but we're expecting more out of them. Their pitching has been very disappointing so far this season. Merrill Kelly, like you mentioned, 3-1 on the year. His ERA is over 4.4. But he's 2-1 against Philadelphia with an ERA under 3, 2.92. Now, Jesus, our boy Jesus here, is 3-0 on the year, 1.73 ERA. But he in 5 starts, make it 4 starts against Arizona. And I'm with you here, Sean. I think Arizona is a very undervalued club and very underrated team. And they didn't get off to such a great start either. But Merrill Kelly, 2-1 against them. But Luzardo is 2-1 against Arizona, but his ERA is over 5 in the 4 career starts. The only other thing I wanted to add was, let me look at, Arizona won the last 3 meetings, and they've won 6 of the last 9 meetings, and those 3 meetings were at the end of last season, by the way. But so I like Arizona here. I know Lazaro's been really tough, and they're at home, but it's high price, and I think you get value with this Arizona team, and Merrill Kelly can keep you alive. He's 3-1. He's got a winning record against Philadelphia. I'll take Arizona here. I'll take the Diamondbacks, and I mean I'd take them as a selection here for the show.
Plus 130 for Chip with the D-backs here, and again, Luzardo, way ahead of the skis, as they like to say this year. I mean, fabulous numbers, home and away, both sub-2 ERAs at both places. 1 whip here. I mean, he's a solid kind of guy. But again, are we going to get a little regression? Like, that's the key, right? We talked about pitchers. You start out really hot, and again, 6 starts, he's been fabulous. Are we going to see a little chink in the armor here? Is he going to kind of play to the back of the card? Where again, his card is not terrible. He's going to pitch to like a 3.5, but I'm with you. I kind of think it's a little juicy here at 145.
And
I think they're equal kind of teams.
It's still early for these hot starts to start cooling off. Let's wait till the June swoon, so to speak, and that's when you really start to see the flash in the pans and people go up to great starts. That's when it really starts to get to them.
Yeah, I like to look at and as Yankee fans, we know our guy Louis Gill last year. We were waiting for it to come collapsing down because he was approaching numbers he had never thrown.
Right.
Combined his entire career, he had never reached like 130 innings or something, 140.
Right.
So, that's something I look at, as a handicapping kind of thing going forward with some of these.
He did regress to the point where the Yankees put him in the bullpen at the second half of the season last year. And I think they were really more concerned about the amount of innings he had thrown. Like you said, he had thrown 130 was the most he had thrown in a year. And I think that was their main concern. And now this year they don't even have him. So think about that.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Well, listen, that's a whole nother day of video of us talking about Yankee baseball.
It seems to be the story in baseball. I mean, guys go down, and they go down for pitchers, particularly. They're out a year and then they're back. So,
well, and he's one of them. 32 games in 2023, 12 last year, not effective, and now he's back, and he's been pretty good here, Luzardo. But official pick for a Chip here, he's taking Arizona with Merrill Kelly on the bump, plus 130 as his free pick. Again, this is Chip's free play today in Major League Baseball. If you want his top plays, his best bets, and all the cream of the crop, you head on over to gamblersworld.net for Chip, myself, and we got a dozen other cappers over there for you to choose from. And again, the $50 off 30-day pass is available right now. Game number 2 here. I got the Mets in St. Louis. If you're wondering why we were just talking Yankees, we didn't bet have the Yankees as a free pick. There were 2-1 faves today. I couldn't put a huge fave out there. That's why Yankee fans. You got Yankee fans here, but we're not going to talk about them when they're laying $2 or $1.90, whatever. We can't do that. That's ridiculous. But we have the other team out of New York, the one that's actually in first place. Well, actually, the Yankees are in first place. So this is more of a shocking first place team though for the Mets. I have a Mets under this year, Chip. I got a Mets win ticket under.
Most people thought they would regress after the way they came through last season and advanced in the playoffs, but I can understand it.
And it's based on their pitching. I thought, you know what? Today's starter, Holmes. I go, we got a guy who's saving 35 games a year for the Yankees coming in, becoming a starter. How good is this team going to be? Listen, their pitching coach, he turns water into wine. I mean, this guy, he gets solid pitching out of these guys. Quintana, Minaya, Griffin Canning, whoever. They get some solid pitching from their coach. Whatever he does, he works his little magic here. Now, this is basically a 110 both ways here. St. Louis is another team I was not high on this year. Have an under ticket on them. The lineup, I look at him like, you got to be kidding with this lineup. I thought the Yanks would make the deal for Arenado, or he was going to go to Houston, anywhere but St. Louis. And then you have Gray and this old geriatric staff. But I'm going under here. I was going to say sidewise, I could flip a coin with, and that's what the line tells me. let me just jump into the total here with Sonny Gray. Decent numbers at home. This guy is the same all the time, folks, for his entire career. From April to like mid-June, solid numbers. He's going to go 5-6 innings, give up a run or two. You're in the game. The Mets, Alonso's having a great year. The rest of this lineup, Soto's been struggling a little bit. It's an under for me. One, again, I get a little, it's still only May 2nd here, Chip, but I kind of still keep my little bias for teams I like and don't like. The St. Louis lineup is not good. It's just not good. It's not a good lineup.
But, St. Louis has always been such a fundamentally sound organization, and they every year, expect them to do well. I do anyway, and I always feel like they're going to be in the hunt. Last year, they really had a down year, and I wasn't expecting as much this year, but I was expecting them to improve somewhat. And they're hitting 289 at home, Sean. That's
At home,
really got to help, So,
yeah.
I like them here a little bit. I was with Sonny Gray on the mound. He's 3-0. His ERA is 3.6, but he's 4-0 lifetime against the Mets with an ERA under 3, 2.76. And Clay Holmes has been outstanding as a starter. He wanted to move into this role. He just needed to wash all that grime and everything that hung out on his 15 blown saves last year for the Yankees. And now he's a starter. He's not going to blow any saves, but he is 3-1, and his ERA is 2.64. The under would probably be really good for maybe the first 5 innings, Sean, because I'm so afraid of these teams' bullpens. You know what I'm saying? And but I lean towards St. Louis on this one because of this year. They seem to have a rejuvenated attitude and spirit.
Yeah, again, you mentioned, I was going to bring that up because, again, I like the under here. 7.5 is where I'm going to go based on just Gray's history. And Holmes has been effective. I can't really knock the guy. He's been effective. Lineup-wise, I don't like it. I still don't like St. Louis. I go through their numbers. I look at them like, how the heck, like, who are these cats, right? It's a younger team. It's a kind of like a prospect still sort of team. Jordan Walker, some of these guys are in their earlier kind of stages of their career, how they're going to be. I mean, Lars Nootbaar, Tommy Segis, like Lucan Baker. What? Who? Again, they're hitting well at home. Who they played? I think the Mets. Will there be regression? Yes. Right now, though, I think this is like a 3-1 type of game. Maybe St. Louis could win this one. Sure. Can the Mets win this one 3-1? Someone's going to hit a 2-run home run to break this open in the 8th. Hopefully it doesn't go over. You mentioned bullpens. Always a crapshoot. That being said, and I almost use this as a premium pick too as well because I like Sonny Gray early. Holmes has been solid. Under 7.5 for me here in this one. Again, this is the free pick. A lot of times I use a free pick. It comes into be a premium. This one, not so much. Not so much. I thought maybe I'd get to it. I did not get to it as a premium, but under St. Louis 7.5 for me here, Chip, as my free pick. Our best bets, as always, at gamblersworld.net. Chip's free play on the Arizona Diamondbacks plus 130. And Chip, today, it's May the 2nd. Anything interesting on them? Hopefully you get some good baseball from 1911.
I really do. There are some things that were kind of interesting. May 2nd, we're talking about throughout baseball and sports history. On this date, the National League started like 25, 26 years before the American League. So the National League was fresh at 1876. And Ross Barnes hit the first home run in National League history. How's that?
Ross Barnes.
Ross Barnes. And by the way, in 1909, Hornus Wagner, you may remember this guy. He played for Pittsburgh. And in the first inning against the Cubs in 1909, he stole second, third, and home on 3 consecutive pitches. Think about that. And 1923, Walter Johnson, the big train, beat the Yankees 3-0. Babe Ruth was on the Yankees at that time. His 100th career shutout. I mean, we have guys now that might get 4 or 5 in a career.
We'll have the whole decade. We'll have the last. This entire 25 years. I don't think there's been 100 shutouts in the last 25 years. Combined from starting pitchers.
You're right. And 1939, Lou Gehrig played his final game, 2,130 consecutive games. And in 1941, on May 2nd, Ted Williams was at his season low at 308. He ended up hitting 406. Sean, what did he hit the rest of the year to hit 406? I mean, he went 3 for 4 and 3 for 5 on the final day of the year. But to end up at 406 at this point, hitting 305, to raise your average 100 points, I mean, he must have hit like 440 the rest of the
I was
way.
gonna say it was probably like plus like 470 or something like
Yeah.
that.
And
Where
on
the
this
math
date,
people at in the comments?
on this date in 1954, Sam Musial against the future world champion New York baseball Giants hit 5 home runs, 3 in one game, 2 in the other. And, Sean, we talk about, how the Yankees have an impact on just about everything. In 1958, after the Dodgers and the Giants had moved to California, the National League was going to broadcast National League games into New York. And this is how powerful the Yankees are. They backed down all of Major League Baseball by threatening, like Donald Trump probably would, to broadcast their games to every other major league city. And the major leagues didn't want any part of that because the Yankees had so much influence and they were so strong. That was in 1958, and I wasn't even aware of that at the time. But they were going to do nationwide broadcasts to all major league cities. So baseball acquiesced, they backed down, and they just waited till 1962 when the Mets came in and opened as a new, fresh National League team at the Polo Grounds. And a sad date, I guess, in 1967. That was the last time the Toronto Maple Leafs won the Stanley Cup Finals. They beat Montreal 3-1 to win the series 4-2. And a guy by the name of Terry Sawchek. You don't remember Terry Sawchek, I do. And Rick Pulford was in the Nets. Toronto hasn't come close since. And I guess maybe one other significant thing on this date, 1976, Pete Rose was suspended 30 days for pushing an umpire. And on this date in 2009, the Kentucky Derby, of course, is this weekend. And the biggest long shot in Kentucky Derby history won Mind That Bird at 50-1 on this date in 2009. So that's it for May 2nd. If you gave me May 3rd, I would have been able to tell you in 1962. That was the day that Willie Mays returned to the Polo Grounds. And after McCovey went over the roof and Mays had 2 strikeouts in the 5th inning, Mays hit his part over the roof in left field at the Polo Grounds. But that's tomorrow, so can't do anything about that. That's May 3rd. But anyway, Sean, that's it. I think Ted Williams hitting 308, and there were kind of some interesting things here. The Yankees threatening to broadcast their games to all major league cities, and major leagues back down. I thought that was kind of interesting. I wasn't aware of that.
I was going to say I did have Toronto on the ice last night, so maybe the Maple Leafs come out and
right.
break the spell for the last 50 years there. The Yankees broadcasting, because they were like, wasn't Maris like a Royal? Like, isn't that because
Maris was in Kansas City? And,
right,
Kansas City was like a New York farm team. At the end of every year,
so
they bring up Bob Serve. They picked up pictures, and they were so powerful. They were so dominant at the time that Kansas City was never going anywhere. And
they definitely didn't want that.
Yeah.
Speaking of, listen, let's. I'll give a little spiel here, and then because people are going to cut out when I talk about next. But you know what? You got to deal with it. So you're talking about the Mets and the 60. That's Ed Kranepool. I've brought this up before. Once Upon a Time in Queens, people. It's a 30 for 30 on ESPN, or maybe it's not 30 for 30. It's one of their special shows. It's a 86 Mets, and it talks about like from 83, like their beginnings, whatever.
Right.
4-part series. It's fabulous. I love it. I watch it. I just finished watching it again the other day. There's at the end of their little dynasty run, or should have been a dynasty.
Yeah.
And there's a Don LaGreca rant about Ed Kranepool. I tweeted out. It's like 8 minutes long. It's hilarious. I love it. And I didn't even like the Mets. And I'm thinking to myself, Donnie Baseball and the Yanks were pretty good in 85, 86, but the Mets really were the kings of the city back then. It's just fabulous. And we talk about the 60s. I just thought about like Ed Kranepool, how he was like the face of the Mets because he's 17 years there with the Mets.
He was right out of high school, and he was 18 years old when he signed. And they were talking about Ed Kranepool.
It's hilarious. Listen, it's 8 minutes long. Don LaGreca's rant as a Met fan, and it's 20 from 2018. So they're talking about the Yankees, like who are the great Mets? He's like, David Wright, he got hurt. It's sad. Like Matt Harvey's hurt. He's like, Matz has been hurt, and Syndergaard's been hurt. Who do you have? He's like, the Yanks have Judge, and Gleber's on his way, and Sanchez and Severino and these guys. And he's like, Ed Kranepool. He's like, if someone picked up Ed Kranepool at the airport, like, really, bro, you played for the Mets? Like, it's just
He's
I
really
watched that. I wish I cheered for the Mets back in the day because they were really a gritty kind of. It was a team like that's a team of role players that were really good.
He is a Red Campbell is still an icon in New York. Met fans still revere him.
Yeah.
He wasn't all that a player. I mean, his rookie year they made fun of him. They were calling him. You remember Dick Stewart? They used to call him Dr. Strangeglove because he was so terrible a fielder. And Crankle actually had a ball that hit both insides of his ankles. You know when you hit that bone on your ankle, and it ricocheted off one and hit the other, and they had to carry him off the field. So the Met early history has got some really unique and different things for baseball. It really opened people's eyes to how bad a team can be.
I go look at that team, Mookie, Ray Knight. I mean, just kind of like glue kind of guys. Like it's a weird. I mean, you got Strawberry and Hernandez and Carter and Stars.
And they had Ray Knight. They had a great combination and balance because you had
yeah.
Dykstra and you had Mookie Wilson. They were in center and. I really liked that team. I really did. I was a season ticket holder at that time in New York.
A great team, good parts, good pieces, stars, rookies, veterans. Your attitude
Ron
guys.
Darling.
And they had the highlights from I think it was like game 5 or 6 of the NLCS. Gooden versus Nolan Ryan. Gooden pitched 10 innings. Ryan goes 9, 1-1. Can you imagine today's baseball? 2 guys going, one. They'd be pulling. It'd be a bullpen by. Here come the rotating bullpens in the 7th inning in that game.
Well,
these guys went.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I was going to say, it used to be that you didn't take a guy out of a game until he started struggling, or he got tired, but now they just take a guy out for no reason. They just yank him.
Chip, the last game of the season when they were clinching or whatever, Doc Gooden is pitching a game with a 17-game lead. He pitches a complete game shutout before the playoffs start. Not like I'll give him a day's rest when he goes game 1. No. You go out there, fella. Unbelievable.
He took his rest the day of the parade.
Unbelievable. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, once upon a time, Cleves, I mentioned, I'm not even a Met fan, but I love it. I whatever. It's fabulous. Anyway, what else is fabulous? At gamblersworld.net, you get all of mine and Chip's best bets today. So go get them. NBA. Well, I know there's a hockey from Chip today. There's only one hockey game. Major League Baseball, gamblersworld.net. The $50 package is up right now. It's available. I mentioned that NBA special. Take 50 off. There you go. Can't beat that one. Can't beat $50 off the NBA because that runs all the way to basically almost nearly July with the playoffs. Again, free picks and we get out of here. Arizona plus 130. I like the under Mets in St. Louis. There you go. $50 off the World Series package. You can't beat that one for 6 months. What are we doing here, people? What are we doing? Get on $5.49. That's May, June, July, August, September. 5 full months of regular season baseball and a month of postseason baseball. Less than $25 a week. That's. Let's be honest. If you go to Starbucks or someplace to get some fancy ass coffee, you're spending more than that a week on nonsense. So make the smart money move. Get the MLB package, you big dummies. There you go. I insulted half the people because half the people are going to do crazy parlays, and I'll call you a dummy for that. I don't know. Probably not happy. Here comes Seth with the edit. We're out of here. Take it easy, Chip.